Hello. This is the One Episode Rule podcast about first impressions. I'm Magpie. We're all bringing a real good energy to the show. Real high energy episode today is what we're gonna have, right?
Yeah, get hype.
Eh,
I don't know about you two, but I've got power in my veins.
It's
yeah.
it's not as though some of us didn't sleep while others are chronically fatigued.
Yeah. It's okay. We're fine. We just have sleep disorders.
I
My,
do too.
my disorder is that I was born old. Now I am become sleepy. Taker of naps.
The goer to bed.
The goer to bed.
Yeah.
Why don't you all introduce yourselves? Because I don't really have like an extended joke for the intro here.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm Blackle. I really have nothing of note to say other than I think the only thing I've eaten today was a fucking cake, like a tiny little like cheesecake, because I got it last night.
Nice.
And that was my food for today, and I don't get to eat anything else.
You don't get to eat anything else?
Nope.
Who's withholding it?
God, I'm free.
Oh.
I'll get other food later.
I was about to say
Okay.
you should eat real dinner.
Feed our Blackle.
Get the good food.
Okay. Hi. I am Joey, and part of the reason that I'm sleepy is I stayed up all night playing just
This is anime
silliest
adjacent,
game.
right?
I
It's
don't know.
anime styled, the second one at least.
Yeah, a little bit.
What's this?
It's anime adjacent. We played what is the exact name of that? Is it like
So
Chronicles?
the name of the compilation is Chronicles of the Star. It's a compilation of Dungeons and Dragons Tower of Doom and Dungeons and Dragons Shadow over Mistara,
Yes.
which are brawlers from the 90s based on D&D.
They are games about walking to the right and punching everything you see. We fought dragons and displacer beasts and a troll at one point that didn't work correctly.
From my
It's just like, you have to burn the troll. I'm trying to burn the troll.
From my outside perspective, I would say, and I hazard to say this, and I'll tell you why I hazard to say this, so don't interrupt. It looked like Street Fighter, but as a JRPG, and I say I hazard to say that because I'm not totally sure if Street Fighter isn't a JRPG.
Well, Street Fighter is a facing each other kind of fighter game.
It is a fighting game.
It's not a beat 'em up like walking to the right.
So your beat 'em ups and brawlers, Blackle, are a very old arcade staple where you play some dudes, and you typically have less moves than a fighting game, and you walk to the right and you beat up dudes who look like they just came out of Charles Bronson's Death Wish.
Yes. it's mostly about
cartoon punks.
smashing the buttons.
I feel like I have played a game like this, and it was this fucking arcade cabinet, and it was like Simpsons themed.
I would not. You know what? I'll research it in between in between parts of the episode here. But anyway, yeah, we played Chronicles of Mistara. That game's great. I found out afterwards that I played the thief the whole time without realizing that I could actually steal items from enemies.
Of course. That makes complete sense. Huh. We'll have to play again.
At no point was this explained to me.
We'll play again sometime. But anyhow, for now, let's talk about anime.
Let's get a little more topical here. I've got some anime news for us. I've got some announcements. Okay, announcement number 1. More Konosuba. They're going to make more of that. I liked what I saw of Konosuba, although I heard there's some off-color jokes. later on that some people didn't appreciate at all.
Interesting.
I haven't seen them for myself, so I don't know. It was in one of the Konosuba movies.
Yeah, no, I know nothing about this.
But yeah, it is the only. I feel like it's the only isekai worth taking seriously because it's not serious. The main character is scum,
uh,
and it does have one of my favorite openings from an isekai, which is he thinks a girl is going to be hit by a bus, so he jumps out in front of it to save her, and that's how he dies and gets sent to the isekai world. Except it is explained to him in the afterlife that not only was she not going to be hit by a bus, it was a slow-moving tractor, and also he just hit his head on the ground, and also he pissed his pants.
God.
And his
That's pretty
parents
funny.
laughed at how badly he pissed his pants before he died.
Like, haha,
Oh
this
my God.
fucking nerd got owned.
Konosuba is
Jesus.
at least worth watching the TV anime.
Nice.
Let's see. Oh, they're gonna make the next arc of Beastars apparently
Yes.
at Studio Orange.
I still haven't seen the second season that I didn't know was out.
I haven't watched enough Beastars to know whether I want to continue. There's an energy in Beastars that makes it difficult for me to watch. It feels almost like cringe.
I
think
feel
it's
you.
just the atmosphere between these characters. I'm just like, this is so awkward.
Yeah. It goes some places.
This is it's incredible at how it is weaponized, that feeling.
Yeah.
Because I'm almost certain it's on purpose. Anyway, let's see, what else have we got? Studio Ghibli is celebrating the 20th anniversary of Spirited Away, which makes me feel like an old man. I'm dying. But
I remember when that one came out too.
it's one of my favorite movies. It's very old now.
I remember renting it from Blockbuster for a sleepover with my friend.
I
I'm gonna post.
becoming aged by the second.
I am going to post here in general chat the drawing that they posted to their Twitter to celebrate it.
Yay.
It's
Nice.
big old smile on you, Baba.
Oh, look at her.
Yeah.
And another announcement is that Hirohiko Araki has said that JoJolion is ending this August after 10 years.
I've heard that.
That's been going for so long. How did it go for so long?
I know. Y'all think this is gonna be the last arc of JoJo's, or do you think
I
there's
don't
another?
know. It's part 8.
Mm-hmm.
If it was part 10, he would stop. I know this much.
Right. Like, that's what I'm thinking is, like, get up to a nice, round, even 10. But I could be,
He might just stop as his vampiric powers fail him.
Yeah. And I mean, completely fair.
But you know what? He might just keep going until the end of time. So I can't say one way or the other.
True.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I gotta get on that manga. And
I know. I need to finish. I still need to finish Steel Ball Run, and then I guess it would be the time. This would be the time to binge JoJolion.
yeah, right. Like I gotta buy the rest of part 4 because you actually bought me a
Well,
number of it.
maybe I'll send you some more of it for your birthday or something.
But and then I gotta read part 6, and then I gotta read Steel Ball Run, and then I gotta read JoJolion.
Yep.
By that point, the fucking anime for part 6 is gonna be out.
Jolene, my beloved.
But that's what we got for anime news. A lot of good news, no real fucked up news, so that's not a lot of meat for us to dig into, as is our custom.
I do have a piece of news which I found.
Juicy.
All right, hit us.
It is one of those NHK at a glance videos about a giant human balloon just soaring over Tokyo, and it did remind me of something, which I will post.
I don't like that.
It does remind me very deeply of the Junji Ito comic where everyone just gets strangled by giant balloons that look exactly like their heads. And I think if I saw that, if I looked outside and saw that in Tokyo, I would be very scared.
Yep, I would be like, oh god, I'm next.
I really don't like that. That has big, like, samurai ghost head energy. that one NES game where you're the samurai ghost head.
Yeah.
Scary.
Okay. So, it's time to pick an anime. I think it's JoJo's turn. You're far behind. You got to pick some.
All right. Well, I don't have the document open though.
Come on.
Get it open.
I didn't think I was going to be responsible for this.
Come on, I told you specifically.
Before we recorded.
I thought Black Hole said she had something though.
Oh, I didn't.
I literally thought you specifically had something, so.
That was last week.
But I don't.
Here,
Just point at one. No, you can't pick. Sit down.
All volunteers tribute.
We're gonna watch I can't talk.
My Little Pony.
Yes, we're gonna watch My Little Pony on this episode.
Oh god.
My next life as a villainess. All routes lead to doom.
Okay. Oh. That's the one about Otome games or whatever it is, right? Those are visual novels. Yes. Yeah, fuck it. I'll watch that.
We're doing it.
After considerable effort, we have watched the show.
Magpie was having difficulties.
Like you perished a little bit.
It did take me twice as long as anyone else to watch the show because it, for whatever reason, wouldn't buffer more than 5 seconds in advance.
Oh god.
That sounds miserable.
So I did monkey around with whatever servers I was viewing it from on the completely legitimate website that I watched it on.
On Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Yes, on a form of Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
So, who wants to hit this blurb?
Not me. Wait, I could probably do it because
you can do this one. Do it.
All right. Most people would prefer.
You're fine.
Yeah. Most people would prefer being the protagonist of a world full of adventure, be it in a game or in another world. But unfortunately, a certain girl is not so lucky. Regaining her memories of her past life, she realizes that she was reborn in the world of Fortune Lover, one of the games she used to play. Unfortunately, the character she was reincarnated as, Katrina Klez, is the game's main antagonist, who faces utter doom in every ending. Using her extensive knowledge of the game, she takes it upon herself to escape from the chains of this accursed destiny. However, it will not be an easy feat, especially since she needs to be cautious as to not set off death flags that may speed up the impending doom she's trying to avoid. Even so, to make a change that will affect the lives of everyone around her, she strives not as the heroine, but as the villainess. So yeah, it was an isekai.
Interesting isekai in that it was an in media res, and it took a minute to remember her past life.
It's like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute, I'm Japanese.
I was a nerd.
I was a nerd. This is a video game. Oh god. Oh god.
Oh,
I'm gonna die.
Oh god. The proper response of, like, every time there's an isekai, people are just like, haha, I'm in a video game world. I spent so much time with these. I'm having such a good time. And the only reasonable response to finding out that you've been reincarnated into a video game is, oh god!
Oh no!
Oh
that
Christ,
means I can no-clip and die?
No.
I think when I realized this was an isekai, my expectations dropped severely. But then I realized that they went on like an interesting twist where it's like, you're not being reincarnated as the protagonist, you're being reincarnated as a villain. which is
as a
fun.
pre-existing character.
Yeah.
And
Which
also
is a
she
fun
knows
little
the
twist.
plot.
And she knows she's going to die, and she's like, uh-oh.
She knows like the specifics of the plot.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, the quick rundown is your character, your viewpoint character, Katarina Clays. Yeah, she's a scion of a noble family. Obvious, basically anything you can set up to have a romantic rival in a video game, she is. She's noble. She's talented with magic. She has pre-existing connections with with presumably all of the available male heroes. And when she does realize that she's in this game, she realizes she's going to have an extreme uphill battle to avoid death.
Mm-hmm.
So she does in her mind. This has like similar vibes to like the spider one.
Yeah.
I reincarnated as a spider because she does continually break down into a council of Katarinas in her mind to decide courses of action, in which she will wield tactical weapons such as human decency.
She's just like, what if, and hear me out, y'all, what if we're just nice?
Mm-hmm.
What if we love
we're
our
just
brother?
kind in this time?
Yeah.
Well, she comes to two different conclusions, which I think is very interesting. Which is for the first one, the first hero, I suppose, hero in like the literary sense here,
Mm-hmm.
protagonist. We're introduced to is the what is he? He's like the third son of the royal family or something.
Yeah. His name is Jordo Stewart, which I thought was very funny.
Giordo.
I did think they were calling him Giorno, like a JoJo,
Giorno.
and I was like, that's not right. That's
Joe,
not correct.
Joe.
It's Joe.
Joe. He's gonna turn one of his teeth into a jellyfish so he can drink a bunch of piss.
Oh no.
Yeah. No, he's not gonna fucking do that.
I'm gonna, you know what? A quick aside for Blackle. Blackle, you're aware that JoJo is like kind of nuts in a lot of places.
I do.
We should make the distinction that in addition to that, in part 5, nobody knows how Giorno's powers work, including Araki, and he made them up.
Oh, okay.
So it leads to situations like him turning one of his teeth into a jellyfish so he can drink a bunch of piss.
Yes.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Back on topic. But yeah, she falls in the garden while she is strolling with this boy who she thinks is dreamy. Smashes her head open on the cobblestones, which is incidentally how she remembers her past life. But because of this, he feels indebted to her because he feels as though he has caused her injury and proposes marriage to her in the way of dipshit nobles of the past.
Yeah.
It was funny because she's like freaking out because she just realized she's like in bed and she's like, oh god, I'm in a video game.
She just experienced intense gnosis.
What is my past life? And while she is doing this, he's just like talking to her and he's like, I'm so sorry. You're going to have trouble getting engaged. So I'm going to take responsibility and marry you now.
He's trying to do
yeah, whatever.
He's doing the honorable thing. And she's just like, I think we should get engaged. And she's just like, yes, I suppose so. And then later she's just like, wait, what did I say?
I like how blasé she is later when he like formally proposes too. She's like, yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, shit! I did it again!
Oh, I've done it!
Oh, no. God,
that's funny. But yeah, the conclusion she meets in that case is not that she should avoid the direct circumstances that lead her to doom, which is in that case bullying the shit out of the actual protagonist girl.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
She decides that she simply must increase her magical ability and swordsmanship to make it much more difficult to kill her.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's like, I have to become extremely big and strong.
Oh, and
And I need to be nice to my brother.
if she's an extremely powerful magician, even in exile, she will not have difficulty finding work. Which
That's
I
the
think
thing, is that
such a
in
practical concern.
in this story, right? It's her two destinies are either she dies, she gets killed, or she gets exiled. So she sort of is planning on the exile one. She's like, oh well, if I get exiled, then at least I'll not be screwed.
It beats death.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's funny that like right, she's going through all of the scenarios, right? Like good ending with in the video game with Jordo
With
is good ending is literally just that he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to marry you anymore and you're going to be exiled." Bad
yeah,
ending is
she
he
gets
tries to stab the girl with a knife.
yeah, she gets stripped. It's not even like good for her. It's good for
No.
the protagonist. So it's
Mm-hmm.
in the good ending, nobody dies, but she does get stripped of her nobility and shipped off to the colony.
Yes.
Wait, I can put this more distinctly. She gets transported like the English used to send debtors to Georgia to go to debtors prison.
God.
Yeah. Yeah. And so my thought process is like, okay, can you not can you just not attack someone with the knife? But then I think she thought about that too and she's like, "Oh no, he will still exile me for some reason." Because they keep
Or
implying that Jordo is actually like a shithead.
like a
Yeah.
bastard. And so she resolves to become unkillable.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "I have to go do a lot of farming to become big and strong."
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she has earth magic, so she decides she has to commune with the earth
Yes.
through the Tao of Japanese agricultural processes.
Yeah. And then she has like a flashback from her mom or
Her
grandmother from her
grandma.
past life just being like, yeah, farming's pretty cool. And she's like, thank you, grandma.
Thank you, Grandma.
This
You're
is,
so
farming is
right.
how you talked to the earth. And yeah, she gets introduced to her adopted brother, and and her solution is just like, oh well, don't be a shithead to him.
Easy peasy.
Specifically, she decides to lavish attention upon him,
Mm-hmm.
so she's going to be extra nice.
To the point of knocking his door down, but maybe that's a little bit too soon to talk about.
It's a little too soon because she's taking this kid around, she's buttering him up. She's like, I always wanted a little brother. Please don't be lonely.
Yeah.
Right, because
Because
his backstory is that he he becomes like so lonely that once he becomes like older, he becomes like a playboy, right? But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
then he meets the protagonist of the dating game, and
who
his route,
soothes the
yes,
deep loneliness in him. So she resolves to eliminate that deep loneliness.
hmm
So they spend all day fucking around. It's cute.
it's very
And
adorable.
Mm-hmm.
she does encourage him to show her his magic, his earth magic that he has, and she becomes injured in it in this scene, and things steer back onto plot A until she decides no, he will not lock himself in his room because he thinks he's a danger to society. I am going to take apart the door with an axe.
We didn't even talk about the part where they were like, she's like, "Yeah, I love you. Let's go climb a tree," and she starts climbing the tree and falls out of it,
And
and
lands
she's
on
like,
him.
"Oh God, I killed you with my butt."
Oh no!
No! We also glossed over his magic, which is he can animate little mud golems.
Mud,
And I was watching that. It's like, oh, giving life to mud. Haha, that's an affront to God.
yeah, much like Jesus in the Quran, he does spend his days creating clay abominations by the riverside.
I
She
I
also gets
have the
really
curse.
excited about. Go
No, go
ahead.
ahead.
Okay, she gets really excited about it because she's just like, "Wow, clay dolls! I can use those to eliminate labor costs.
Yeah, when I get exiled in the future.
That'll be brilliant.
So he
Yeah.
makes a teeny tiny one at first, and then he's like, she's like, can you make bigger ones? And he's like, yeah, I can make bigger ones. And she's like, show me.
Show
And I
me
thought it
how.
was funny because I thought he was gonna make one that was like approximately human size. He did
No, he
make one
made-
that was like the size of a fucking house.
Yeah.
And she's like, that's rad! And she just runs directly to it and it bops her with its arm. So she's been knocked out like 3 or 4 times in this episode.
She's going to derail the plot simply by accumulating brain damage.
I was gonna say all the head trauma is gonna turn her evil.
Yeah.
Also, the the mud monsters were shaped like Amogus.
You're right.
They had arms. Come on.
Those creatures looking kind of sus.
Mhm.
So what else do we have? That's the basic rundown of the plot. Like she's just like, no, I'm at least gonna do a better job with the brother.
Yeah.
The part where she's busting down the door with an axe, it comes off like so scary from his perspective.
It does come off like there was
like Shining-esque.
She would only have to pivot a few degrees to arrive at Here's Johnny.
Yes.
The thing is though that like he's scared that she's scared of him, but the fact that she just axed the door down means that that's definitely not true because
it's just like I'm actually now quite afraid of you.
Yeah. But like it's funny because she comes into his room and they like it's actually like really surprisingly cute and nice. He's like, "You're not scared
it's
of me?"
touching.
You're not
It's
scared of
very
me? Of course
sweet.
I'm not scared of you. And then he starts crying and happy.
Yeah, it managed to rouse some cold dead meat in me somewhere.
Yeah.
It was
like,
not entirely
"Aw."
unsuccessful.
Uh-huh.
So let's talk about technical shit. What have we got here?
Well, we watched the dub, first of all. I don't know if we mentioned that yet.
We had to watch the dub. The coin told us so.
Yeah.
Yes, we
The
flipped the
spinning
coin
metal
for it,
disc.
and the coin said dub. The dub was pretty good. I thought.
It wasn't bad.
I liked it.
I thought I recognized one of the actors as the actors from the Summer Wars dub, but I couldn't verify.
Could be. I don't actually have English voice actor information in front of me, but I have to say, whoever was voicing her was a little grating at first, but I got used to it. She's putting in a lot of work. She is responsible for almost all of the dialogue in the first episode.
Yes.
It's just her rattling off at herself.
Yeah, like, and she played in her mind space. There's like 6 versions of her or something that are just having like constant debates about what to do next. So having to voice all those is probably pretty tough.
This is, you know what? I'm gonna consider this an AU to my life. What is it? Reincarnated as a spider.
Yeah.
Completely the same energy.
Uh-huh.
I hope she ends it by devouring one of the other characters.
Yeah.
One or several, who knows?
Does she become physically larger?
She could have Blondie Boy, I think. I think that it was funny that this anime did start like every other isekai in that there was a huge aerial view of the perfectly round
Academy
Fantasy
City.
Yeah.
Yet another Academy City.
was there.
It's another Academy City. This doesn't seem as like grossly overgrown as Academy City.
Logistically horrifying as
I think the Academy is actually just a small building inside an admittedly circular city.
Yes. I just think they're like kind of like leaning into some of these isekai tropes. Like she runs out of her house and gets hit by a car, and that's how she perishes.
That's how you die in Japan. Nobody dies of old age.
No one dies of anything else.
You don't die of old age. You run out of your house on your 17th birthday and get hit by a truck and get isekai'd.
Yeah.
um, the scene with where they're walking through the flower garden was so like unnecessarily overly detailed, and I kind of liked it.
I'm living for these backgrounds because they're not drawn in exactly the same way as the characters, especially the further away things get.
Yes.
Mhm.
They tend to take on like a watercolor quality to them.
The flowers in that scene were gorgeous.
It's like I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we all seem pretty positive on this. What do we think? Would we watch more of it?
I ended it and I was like, I want to know what happens next. I'm kind of intrigued.
Yeah.
By,
I-
like,
I'm down to watch more of this.
Like
Weirdly
of
enough,
all the isekais we've watched, like this is one of the more interesting takes.
mhm.
well, I
by
feel like this
far.
is a return to form for isekai because I've mentioned on this show before, but before like the 2010s, isekai was a shoujo genre.
Well, yeah. Yes,
Like
Yeah.
you're right.
like it was there was an explosion of like video game themed ones, but before then it was
Mhm.
like the girl who fell through time and shit.
Yes. Yes.
And was did Eska Flone have a female heroine? Or
I don't know.
I'll look it up.
So I do have a prediction that I want to float about the
Sure.
show, because
Yes.
in the show, in the show, the game of the show, which sounds deranged, but
It's
the
called
game-
Fortune Lover.
yeah, Fortune Lover, the protagonist of the show is reincarnated as the antagonist of Fortune Lover. So what I'm
Yes.
thinking is that the protagonist of Fortune Lover in this show will be the antagonist, like will be the evil person.
I think she should simply date the
Yeah, I think she should.
I forgot to mention that was they were holding, like, there were two girls holding hands in the intro and I couldn't tell who they were.
I feel like okay, I'm gonna shot in the dark here. I feel like there will be another reincarnated, and it will be the protagonist.
That
would
makes a lot of
be
sense.
fascinating.
They will know each other from Earth.
Uh-huh.
That would be fascinating.
Earth.
And also like there's some interesting like what there's some interesting like she's her knowing all of this seems like it's making things worse or progressing things as intended. So like this show seems like it's presenting a sort of like what do you actually even have the ability to change sort of predicament.
You're suggesting that it's to a certain degree deterministic.
Yes, and I'm
It's a man versus
fascinated
nature
how
story.
they're going to like tackle that.
I don't know about that because they kind of threw it away in the first episode here. But
Well, yeah, but, like-
she solved a B plot in the first episode.
It's okay, but it seems
No,
like
wait,
that,
wait,
but
let
they're
me
still
finish.
children.
No, let me finish. She solved the B plot of her brother her brother being hated by her mother because it was apparently supposed to go that that she would not like him because she belonged to her husband's mistress, but they've apparently lied to her,
Right.
and now they're a happy couple, which
That
is
is
apparently not
interesting.
true in the base material.
Right.
So maybe she's doing more than she thinks.
Yeah, I think that it's still too early to be able to tell. Because, like, we've seen how, even in just the first episode, like, how quickly, like, her plots derailed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I'm fascinated to see what they're going to do with all of this.
Yeah.
I think the most tense thing that could happen here is for her to derail the plot into an entirely different story, because it would deprive her of the one tool she has, which is foreknowledge.
Yes.
Yeah, she is actually incentivized to stay the course a little bit in order to, like,
Yeah.
To simply to know what will
True.
happen.
yeah, exactly.
True.
Of course, the logical option of, hey, live your life like a normal person, and maybe things won't turn out so fucking badly doesn't occur to her.
No.
She's already like so different from what she was pre hitting her head, because we get this one scene where she's like, this is before she remembers her past life.
She's being a brat.
She's a shitty little
huge
child.
brat. She's a shitty
Yeah.
little child, and then immediately afterwards, she's like, "Oh, I'm just normal now." And then everyone's so like confused at that. Like they're like, "Holy
Yeah.
shit, what just happened to her?"
Maybe that's
what
what
happened to this child.
Maybe that's why her parents are getting along better.
Maybe.
She
Who
doesn't suck
knows?
anymore.
She isn't terrible, because everything you see of the other Katarina, she's just history's greatest monster. So
Mhm.
capable of just extreme campaigns of psychological warfare and attempted murder. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
anyway, if you'd like to tell us what you're capable of, you can do that at oneepisodecast@gmail.com.
That is one, the word, not the number. And you could also go on Twitter and argue with us about determinism if you wanna. We are at One Episode Cast on Twitter as well.
So
Don't expect us to play nice or send
So,
us funny Amogus memes.
which one of these hunky boys do you guys like?
Oh boy,
I like the
I
Amogus
can't
character.
possibly. Yeah, I want to date Amogus.
We haven't seen enough of them.
No. There was a silver-haired boy, and I'm like, silver-haired boy, my weakness.
He's gonna be the Tsundere too.
Uh-huh.
You can tell.
Yeah. Yes. Like, I don't know. I don't think I like you. It's not like I was looking at you or anything. Dummy.
God.
Then you've got the prince, right?
You've got the prince.
You've got the brother, which shouldn't be available from the villainous side of the story.
No. Now, see,
That's your relative
they
there.
had a musical intro, and it was funny that all three of the other boys were, like, there was, like, little hints that they could be. The brother was absolutely not presented as that, which I appreciated.
I would love that. I would love if they kept it that way. Please.
Please. Their relationship is cute and nice. Please let it just be that way.
Yeah.
And familial. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? They did a little, like, a kind of okay job with this episode, and I am wary but trusting at this point.
Yeah.
That they will.
And we don't know anything about the dashing Premier's son.
Yeah, they didn't really say anything about him.
Yeah, that guy's
He's
not
just,
in the
like,
story yet.
He's just got dark hair, and he's, I don't know, just a guy.
He's some guy.
They said almost nothing about him.
I just had a troubling thought.
Mm-hmm.
What if you got isekai'd into a video game which is not done yet?
Oh no.
Maybe that's where we are right now.
Early access.
Yeah.
T-poses aggressively.
Our isekai needs to be, like, patched majorly.
Mm-hmm. If you want to
nice nice soundscape there, Blackle.
Sorry.
I'm gonna leave that one in. Let's get out of here.